Welcome to Core Creative Studios. In this video, it's going to be a rundown of everything we've done in this studio. I did a DIY of build your own cyclorama wall and DIY of how to build an overhead lighting grid. And now I'm going to show you step by step, 3 years later, what the studio has turned into and what it looks like. We showed you how to do a DIY cyclorama wall or a cyc wall. And I showed you how you could build that cyc wall simple, without cutting wood, without cutting out splines, and not using Luan to create the swoop of the wall. What we did is we used styrofoam. We put the styrofoam that was pre-cut to make the swoosh. Then we had scored sheetrock that we glued down, and then we plastered and painted the final finish. That's what gave us a much easier way without cutting wood and then having to mud and plaster and then paint. The cutting wood could take you forever. We got this done in less than a week. 5 days just to lay it all down. Most of those days were all about drying everything out, drying out the plaster and then drying the paint. 3 years later, you can see that it is held up quite nicely. Like with every cyc wall, you don't walk on the swoop. You can actually fall through everyone, whether it's built through wood or built with our styrofoam sheetrock. But you can see it's held up really nice and there are no cracks through the cyc wall swoop. So nothing is cracked or broken. Needs a new paint job, but besides that, everything else is maintained for 3 years. And with every cyc wall, we can always paint this wall. We can go black. If we wanted blackouts, we could paint it chroma green. We can paint it chroma blue, or we can go to the basic white cyc wall. Every photography studio needs backdrops. So we've added an 8-ring motorized backdrop. So we can just simply come over here, pick the color that we want, and drop our backdrops down. We anchor bolted that directly to the wall, which gives us options if we want to shoot on a seamless paper, like so, or if we want to shoot on the big cyc wall, or if we want to paint. If somebody has extra money and they want to paint the cyc wall, and then we can shoot there any color that we want, paint it red or green, like I was saying, or to save money, we can just shoot it on the seamless paper on our motorized rack. In another video, I showed you how to build an overhead lighting grid. Now mine's a little bit different than most photography studios because I am not just a photography studio, I'm also a video studio, a YouTube studio, a podcast studio. So I need to be able to do several things. Sometimes I can get by with just hanging a few lights, which doesn't require a whole lot of weight. But sometimes I need a lot of weight. So this is why I built the overhead grid that I did, mostly with scaffolding fittings or Cheseboros, 1-inch aluminum pipe, a lot of anchor bolts. Since this whole place is concrete, I can just anchor everything in, and floor flanges, speed rail floor flanges. That's what keeps everything attached to the walls and attached to the ceiling. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 ceiling safeties, and I've got 10 cross pieces of aluminum pipe with the floor flanges anchor bolted into the wall, holding all my lights up here. I can put any light on this grid. You'll see a lot of those photography studios, they have the pull down and ratcheting studio strobe kind of thing where you can just slide the strobes. I can't do that because that does not carry a whole lot of weight. It's really good for studio strobes that are very light. But if you want to hang bigger lights in the sky, like LED lights, LED panels, tungsten lights, you're going to need a more massive grid. And with this grid, I'm also able to add in any cross pieces that I need. So with extra pipe, I can add in extra pieces to arm out lights in places that I need to put them. I recommend that you watch that video here, and you can go see how I built my overhead lighting grid. With any overhead grid, you're going to need some kind of rigging materials to fix your lights to the grid. Mafer clamps or super clamps are perfect for studio strobes. I use this a lot for lightweight studio strobes. Cardellini's, another great clamp. That's what I'm going to use for heavier loads. Maybe LED lights, LED cobs, mono lights, or tungsten lights, or LED panels. Another great thing are baby grid clamps. This is a 1-inch baby grid clamp that you can buy. Has a 5/8 pin. You put your light right on there and you fix it right over top of your grid. Or if you're going really big, you can do 1.5 inch, 1.25 pipe, aluminum pipe overhead, and you can use a baby grid clamp in that size. No studio would ever be complete without stands, modifiers, lights, and just all around equipment to get the job done. So we've added a whole lot of stands. We've added crank up stands just to keep our lives easier and keep the weight off our back. We've got mega boom arms so we can adjust all our lighting quick and simple without having to always go up the ladder and go into the grid. And we have studio strobe flashes with a whole ton of soft boxes and modifiers, beauty dishes, and just all around everything that you need for a working studio. This is our big rack of stands. We don't always shoot everything in the studio. Sometimes we have to go on location. That's why we keep a whole handful of different types of stands, mostly for video lighting, a lot of these stands, but we can dual use these stands for studio strobes, big LED lights, whatever we really need, whether it's on location for a photography shoot or on location for a video shoot or a film. We keep a whole lot of C-stands, combo stands, boom arms, mega overhead butterfly stands, just to help us out in any situation that we need. So that's our studio tour. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and look for more videos on lighting tutorials, things that we do in the studio, behind the scenes, lighting tricks, and camera rigging. Just everything fun to be creative. And as always, I hope you subscribe, hit that like button, and watch more Core Creative Media videos.